We're here with Dean Silvester, the current AOY champion for this year, the inaugural year. We're lucky enough to get some inside information on how he fished every tournament this year. We're talking the first round, which is St Clair.
Yep.
Fishing beetle spins. Dan Steed makes these, is that right?
Yeah, mate, this is, he calls them a spins.
Yep.
So it's just better for getting through the weed. Like when you run a normal beetle spin, you've got the arm and then you've got a jig head clicked on, so you've got another point for the weed to attach. He also runs a unique hook that has a sharp bend in the bottom. So when you get the weed that sits across the curved bend, it's really hard to snap off. Yep. But this one, it sits in there and you give it a flick and it'll snap off. But with the profile and the way how it's all one, the weed typically doesn't get stuck anyway.
What paddle tail have you got running on there?
Well, this is actually a grass minnow from Eco Gear.
Yep. But
it's a colour I pestered and begged them for to bring in. It's just a colour I like in the New South Wales team, so it's fairly translucent, but it's got that glitter and flash. So
yeah, it looks really exciting.
When you pop it through the weed and that, they get the subtle, because it's not a solid bait, but they get the flash, and I think that's really what gets them going.
So you like to fish really similar spin gear, as you've been telling us.
Yep.
So you got the XO 25 reel with the same sort of poundage line. Can you just go through that quickly for people that haven't seen the other ones?
Yep. So yeah, as we said, I run a Yamatoyo. It's a resin sheller. Yep. It's got that hard outer shell, and the fluorocarbon is Yamatoyo as well. And it's all about having that the tough shell and that sort of stuff. So when you run this sort of lure, you're chucking at the bank, you're bringing through a space of free water, then you hit the weed. So you sort of, depends on the thickness of the weed, it's either weed pockets or it's a really thick weed bed. So you want to just rip it out of that weed, and then the strikes are intense, and then the fish doesn't have to go far to get back in there.
Yep, that's right.
So I run the XO 25, and the drag typically is a lot heavier than I'd fish anywhere else. You got a single hook, so you normally got a big lock in the jaw, scissor top pinning, so you can put the hurt on them. So you run the 25, you can lock the drag up. This is it's a 702.
Yep, Dobbins rod.
Dobbins Champion Extreme. It's not the heaviest one, but it is up to 12 pound.
Yep.
So this is a 11 pound fluoro.
Yep. Mainline.
Mainline, sorry. And yeah, you fish heavy drag with a strong stiff rod. I can pop it out of the weed, and then when I do hook one, you can put the hurt on them for those first couple of feet till they get away from the weed bed. And then if you need to, or you're worried about that you've put a bit of pressure on the hook point or whatever, you can just back it off and
fantastic.
Play them out wide.
Check us out at bassaustralia.com.au.